Welcome to IS250. I am Professor Fahmi Jalani. Today we'll be talking about loops, chapter 4. So let's begin. Oops. As you all know, those of you have kids or your parents are quite familiar of children, um, and back into those days, parents do try to drive around their kids a few times around the block until their baby falls to sleep. Um, and you see here from the diagram here, where when the parent takes the child around the block the first time, right, and the baby is still awake, okay, and then you go around another time, the second time, and the child is still awake, and on the third time the child is asleep, and when he's asleep, you drive back home, okay. So by definition, a loop, according to the slide here, a program that repeatedly execute the loop statement, okay, um, while the loop expression is true, okay. In this case, the child is still awake, and when false, the execution proceed past the loop, okay. So the process is called iteration, okay. So each time it loops the statement. So it goes for the example just beside. Here we have sum 0, so it will check if the value is greater than minus 1, which is 0 is still greater than 1. If you put 0 here, okay, and get another input, the next input is this case 4, so it will loop and it requires another input 1, okay. So 4 plus 2 just now is 6 first, then 0, then 2, 4 plus 2 is 6, and then 1 is 6 plus 1 is 7, and last you input a minus 1, which is it's not less, so it drops out the loop, and the answer is 7, okay, right. Next we take a look at a while loop. Here we see a while loop and the expression there. Essentially a while loop is a program construct that repeatedly execute a list of sub-statement known as a loop body, while the loop expression evaluates to true, okay. Here the while loop, okay, and this execution of the loop, okay, mentioned it earlier, is iteration. So over here the example is in the Java program, the input is y, y, and n. So the first y, okay, so the carry power 2 is first, for the first one is just 2 because it's output 2, and next 2 is multiplied again by 2 is 4, and then 4 over here multiplied by 2 again is 8, right, okay. And when you key in the third time n, when it checks user character is n, so it's done, you print out a done, right. So a few more example, okay. Basically the following example, loop to compute mathematical quantity. The program computes the greatest common divisor, or GCD, yeah, right. And among two user entries, num A and num B, set num A to num A minus num B, okay. and set num B to num B minus num A. So these steps are repeated until num A equals to num B. Okay, right. So it repeats, but here when it's still not equal to, at which point num A it will equal to GCD. Okay, in the first case, enter the first positive number, okay, which is 9. Enter the second positive number, 7. Okay, so you get a GCD of, GCD of 1. Okay, so the second example, 15 positive number. Okay, and next we have 10. GCD is 5, right? Okay, and so on. Next, we take a look at loops, for loop. Okay, so according to the slide, for loop has 3 parts. So the loop variable initialization, expression, and the update, right? In this case, we see, okay, it will iterate 5 times when first I is equal to 0 here, okay, and then it will increase, okay, because I is already 0 plus 1, iterate 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 doesn't iterate, okay, and this statement is equal to this statement, okay. So for initial I equal to 0, I is less than 5 is the condition, and the update, okay, I is equal to I plus 1, okay, right. You could even write it down at I plus plus I, okay, which is incremental operator, or minus minus I, decremental. In this case, you just use plus plus I, okay. Let's take a look example. Okay. Here you're analyzing your data and common programming tasks. Okay. Find the maximum value in the value list. Okay. And over here we see the for statement. Okay, the initialization, the condition, and the update plus plus I. Okay. And we have, for example, the value 4 minus 1, 9, 0, 3, and it will check, okay, the value, and it will compare. As long as I is not equal to 0, okay, it will compare, and it will find out the maximum is 9. Okay. And next you enter this value, and the maximum is minus 2. Okay. Next we have loop and string. So basically is to examine each character. Example, count number of letters in a string, okay, not counting digital or symbol. Okay, over here we have enter a word, hey. Okay, here you put hey, and the for loop will use the dot length, input dot length, okay, and it will count the number of input letter from here. And in this case we have 3 letters. Okay, only letters, not character or digits or symbol. Okay, apologize for that. Okay, same goes for this. Okay, 6 letters. Okay, then we take a look at break. A break is basically essentially is a loop, causes an immediate exit. Okay, so let's take a look at example. over here is expenditure, where the user enter $20 a meal. Here, enter money for meal, and it will compute as long as the meal cost is not equal to user money. Okay, it will not break. And here we have $20 buy 4 empanadas and 2 taco without change. Okay, right. Other than break, we have continue. Okay, right. Here we have example of continue. Basically, continue statement in the loop causes an immediate jump to the loop consideration check. Sometimes can improve reliability of the loop. Example, okay, here is a meal finder, where item purchase is evenly divisible by number of diners. Okay, here you enter the money $60. Okay, and how many people are eating? You enter 3 people, and the 60 is computed, where you get to buy 12 empanadas and 6 tacos without change, or 0 empanadas or 15 tacos without change. Okay, that's where you do the continue statement there. Also, we have a variable name, where a declared name is only valid within the region, the scope, in this case here. Okay, right, in the orange highlighted. Declare username, in this case, okay, is in the main program. Okay, from declaration main, most of the is material declared in the main, and if the reader has studied methods, okay, at the top of other methods. So a block is a brace and close from here to here, so here to here. Okay, and sequence of statement such as found with an if else for loop or while. Okay, in this case, this is not within the scope, variable scope, right? It's an error. And last is but not least, we have enumeration. This is basically some variable only needs to store a small set of name. In this example is variable representing traffic light, green, yellow, red, green, yellow, and done. Okay, where declares the name and type, and basically there's string inside. So first you ask the user to key in the command N, red, or quit. So in this case, N is red light first. Okay, we print out red light. Then you press N, the next one will be green. So play green. Next again will be a yellow light. Then next again, in event the user press R, okay, red light, it will jump to R, red light. Then next it will continue red, green, yellow, okay, like the top. And when the user key in Q, quit, the program will quit. Right. So that's pretty much it for chapter 4. If you have any question, please email me, especially for the lab. If you require any extension or any error to check, please do email me or set up an appointment. You can come to my office. So stay safe and wear a mask. Don't forget to social distance. Thanks. Bye bye.